So, today for 3 Minute Thursday, we're going to talk about scripture and copyrights. This has been coming up a lot. Let me start the timer. Hi. Today's 3 Minute Thursday, we're talking about scripture and copyrights. And I want to talk about this because I've been seeing a lot of posts in other writing groups lately, and there's just a lot of misinformation going around about it. So, I wanted to address it with you guys and let you know what the kind of rules are. How do we legally use Bible verses in our writing? This is mostly true for nonfiction. Sometimes it can apply to fiction as well. So, yes, first of all, scripture is copyrighted. It's not the verse, it's not necessarily scripture that's copyrighted, it's the translation. So, I think that's what confuses a lot of people. But, the publishers spent time and money translating those versions. And so that is what the copyright is about. Today, we're going to break down all the stuff in 3 minutes. So not all Bible translations are in the public domain. In fact, most of them are not. Even if they're in the public domain, I still recommend including the copyright information in your citations just to be professional. An example of public domain would be King James Version. In the US, I believe it's different. In England and the UK, I think the Crown holds the copyright. But for us, the King James Version is public domain, and it's free to use without any restrictions. Translations like the NIV, the NLT, Message, ESV, those are copyrighted translations. There's a lot of scholarly work that goes into it, and so publishers are protecting their investment in that. If you're using a copyrighted translation without permission, it can violate copyright laws, so you do want to be careful. It matters which one you use and choose and how you use it. Again, I recommend, even with public domain, still leaning into and including the copyright for that translation in your copyright page. So how do we know what and how much we can use? The best way is go straight to the source, which is the publisher's website. Most publishers allow a limited use without permission. And honestly, most books fall under these guidelines. For most of them, it's under 500 verses, or a different set amount. Usually it's 500. That's the one I've seen most common. You cannot use more than a certain percentage of your book as scripture. So, yeah, that's kind of self-explanatory. And you can't change the text. So you can't go in and rewrite verses or do your own paraphrase of them and quote it. Okay. So if you exceed those limits, or want to use larger sections, it's okay to ask for permission. I do that for my discussion guides. About 50% of my books are verses. So I need to go through the proper channels to get permission to do that. My time is almost out, so really quick, I just want to talk about how we cite it correctly. You're going to use the abbreviation of the translation in parentheses. So NIV, ESV, whichever it is. There's my timer. And whatever. I suggest using one primary translation because then you don't have to do that for each and every verse. There's a specific copyright phrasing you can use at the beginning. The appropriate copyright phrasing should not be something you get from a random website or Google or even your own Bible. You want to get it from the publisher directly, and then you can copy and paste it right into the official, from their official site into your copyright page. So, writing faith-based content means that we need to be intentional, even with our use of scripture, especially with our use of scripture. So double check your translations, guidelines before you publish. If you have any questions about your specific project or even your translation, I'm happy to answer those for you. You can drop them in the comments, and I'll steer you in the right direction. I'm also going to throw a link in the comments to Bible Gateway has a listing of all the versions, and it's really easy to find the publisher's pages from there. So I'm going to drop that in the comments here for you guys as well. All right. Again, questions down below. And until then, until next week, have an awesome rest of your day.